Hello there. My name is Israel Lewis. Today I'm back with another interview, and I'm going to be interviewing a good, great even friend of mine, a friend of my family's, and he's been such a help and a joy all these years. Helping driving us to school, whether it be or always being at the neighborhood functions or whatever it may be. Today I'm going to be here with Grandpa Mauer, and we're going to be having a few questions about his high school experience, his experience in college, and just some words of wisdom for the day and for the younger generation. Thank you for being with me, Mr. Mauer.
My pleasure. Yeah. Look forward to this, Israel.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I think it's going to be a good time.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. Just for our first question, just give me a brief overview of your high school experience. So, how were you in high school? What did you enjoy? What did you dislike? That type of thing.
Well, uh, I enjoyed school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, I had two high school experiences because we moved sophomore year
I see.
From one town to another town. So it was a little bit challenging to make a whole new group of friends.
Yeah, that can be very jarring.
Aside from the academics, which I basically got A's and B's in school, except for chemistry. That difficult subject.
Yeah, I agree.
But I really enjoyed in both schools being in music.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the band and played in the symphonic band as well as in marching band all 4 years. And so that's where my closest friends were in in those experiences, and went on to college and majored in music. So that was kind of my
your calling almost.
Yeah.
For sure. And tell me about that passion, and kind of the way it led you into the way it followed you into college, rather.
Well, I was I majored in trombone and had private lessons with a teacher all of from my fifth grade on up, until college, and then continued from there. So that was a big focus for me. And when my dad was very musical as well, he played the piano, and so we would play things together, and he would accompany me on various things, and sometimes we would put together our own songs, and a lot of times it was hymns that we arranged and played in church and just other events, So that was always.
Yes.
So that's what really kind of motivated me toward college. Although as a young person, about 14 or 15, I felt called to ministry. Right. And so I felt like I was eventually going to go to Bible college, and my father was the dean of a Bible college in Ohio. And so that's where I was kind of headed.
Yeah.
But I decided to get my bachelor's degree in music first.
Gotcha.
That was a great decision because going to the university, I got involved in InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, and that was a major influence in my life during those college years, where there was all kinds of influences in college, that were always positive. But having that relationship with that Christian fellowship, that really kept me on track. And so then after finishing college, I decided, instead of going back to Bible college to get another undergrad degree, I decided to go on to seminary and get a master's in divinity. So
gotcha.
That's kind of what the direction that led my education.
For sure. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, one thing I noticed in there was, kind of the childhood passion. You find something that you're called to, really called to, and I love that, how strongly you embraced it, because that is invaluable, to have something so just important. It's like, not everybody has that experience. It's like, it can be a lot of toil and a lot of work and self-discovery that needs to happen for high schoolers to figure out what they want to do into college. But I love how you found out what you wanted to do. You found out about yourself, what you wanted to do later in life, and you fully pursued it. You took that step from the get, and you knew what you wanted, and you took the steps to get it. That's a huge thing, and knowing what you want to do, and I love how strongly you embrace that. So that is a huge lesson for people who find that passion and who really are passionate about something. So if you find it, you need to hold on to it and really just take those steps every day. Take those steps to embrace it. So that's super important.
Of course, that's great. Yeah, I agree.
And next in our questioning, just tell me a little bit about whether it be a mindset or a lifetime goal that you had. Tell me about one large decision that you made that led you to where you are today.
Well, obviously, coming to give my life to Christ at an early age, around 11, probably the most important decision that I made, besides meeting my wife. So yeah, that shaped everything that followed in my life, was wanting to do what God wanted me to do.
Yeah.
So that is definitely the most important decision that I ever made.
Yeah. I find that with all of the seniors that I interview who are Christians or spiritually, they have found some type of faith, right? It is consistently the faith that takes the largest role, the biggest decision, and I can see that, it makes complete sense. When I gave my life to God, it changed the way I looked at life. Really, that's how I would describe it, because you kind of go through life and you see things and you respond, but when you become a Christian, you respond in a whole different lens, and things feel different when you experience them. Maybe one day, you do something that is just wrong morally, but it doesn't have a pull on your heart that it does when you're a Christian. And everybody makes mistakes and things, but I think the difference between someone who maybe doesn't have faith or isn't interested in something like that is the pull on their heart about it. Of course, people feel guilt and things of that nature for doing things that they know are wrong, but it's not the same type, if that makes sense. And it makes you part of something that's bigger than yourself on the highest level possible. So right. It's super important, and that's just a common theme I've noticed between a lot of my interviews. But as we move on, tell me a little bit about your college experience. Tell me what made it great, made it bad. I know you pursued your bachelor's in music and then your master's. Just give me maybe a few comparisons between those two experiences.
Yeah. Well, college, we majored in music education, to focus on teaching music.
Yeah.
And the thing that motivated me the most about that area of study was learning all the band instruments, and learning how to teach those instruments. Because when I started teaching, which I continued on for even when I was in the graduate school, teaching elementary band instruments, that was a joy to be able to help beginning students learn how to play an instrument.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about college, was study. And of course, we were required to go to all kinds of, well, at least one or two concerts every week.
Gotcha.
That were being performed either by students or faculty or guests to the university, and that was always enjoyable as well. And then, of course, I met Harriet in music because she was a music major as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as a part of college experience, the other classes were okay.
Yeah.
Enjoyed them to, I wanted to get good grades, of course. The most enjoyable classes were in the area of music.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the passion is going to take the brunt of the enjoyment, out of college. For sure. That makes total sense.
Sure. Yeah, right. Everybody enjoy. Well, that's why you choose a major.
Exactly.
You want to major in it. That's what you want to focus on. So that and then, of course, just the whole college experience, being involved in InterVarsity Christian Fellowship.
For sure.
We were there not just to get a degree and an education, but we were there. We recognized, being a part of that fellowship, that we were there to impact our acquaintances in the university and bring people to Christ. So that was a challenge that went along with studying and so forth. We went on retreats and did a missions outreach to Fort Lauderdale during the spring break and different things like that, which really added to the whole college experience.
All right, yeah, and in this final question, for this one, just tell me, me being someone who wants to learn more about the people who came before me and their experiences, what are the types of questions that I should be asking? Or maybe even, what is a question that you wish I asked you today?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's definitely a loaded one. Or here's a better way to phrase it. Like, what questions do you think will bring out the most of, those elders that I have? Or where can I find the most wisdom? The types of questions where I will find the most, guidance.
Well, I think finding out what it is that made the greatest impact in a person's life.
Sure.
And the decisions, the vocation that they chose, and the people that influence their lives the most.
Yeah.
The things that get at the heart of what really makes a person. It enters and their calling and learning how to know what God created you for.
Yeah.
Just not just as a Christian. Obviously, is He wants us to come to know Him, but what is the impact He wants us to make on the world, and how are we going to best do that? In what profession? You know. So.
Wow. Yeah. I think finding out what is most, what our purpose is on this earth is so important, because so many people walk around and they have no clue, and it's so sad, and they have no clue how to find out what they're here for, and it can feel aimless. It can feel like, I would try to start hitting the target, but I don't even know where the target is, so taking that self-discovery, whether it be through God or through the people around you, or maybe a class that you can take, or a new opportunity that you can pursue. You need to take those steps to find yourself and then pursue it. Just like Mr. Mouer.
Yeah, and the Lord calls us all to follow Him, to become an influence for righteousness in our world. And it's not so much what your vocation is, but in whatever vocation you are gifted best to give yourself to, how can you serve God in that area of your life? That's because God needs doctors, He needs lawyers, He needs plumbers, He needs carpenters, He needs all kinds of people, depending on what their gifts are.
Yeah.
He gives us those gifts, and we develop those so we can serve Him in that vocation. So the vocation, everybody's vocation is to serve God.
Yep.
But the avocation is where we make a living.
Yep. And it takes many shapes and forms, many shapes and forms. But it's on you to figure out what your purpose is and how you can be glorifying to Him.
There's a verse in Scripture that says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He'll give you the desires of your heart." And I believe that whatever your desires are, like for me, it was music, and it was also theology, okay? But whatever your desires are, that's how you can serve God.
Yeah.
Even your desires are placed there by God.
Yep.
So it's all fulfilling who you are.
Yep. Figuring out what God wants you to do, and then pursuing that. Invaluable. Absolutely invaluable. But thank you for your time, Mr. Mouer. I won't stay in your hair too much, but I really appreciate the words of wisdom, and I really appreciate your time more than anything.